Roosters, Hens, Cocks, and Friends. What's all the way good with you? As I'm sitting here changing out my closet from summer to winter, and I got the hiccups, excuse me. I just sat here and I'm watching one of my favorite spooky movies, Ghostbusters, the first one that came out before my time. And this meditated in my spirit, and I had to give it to y'all. When the keymaster and the gatekeeper got together, again, excuse me for my hiccups, they had to consummate that so they could bring forth something. Gozer, there you go. And this dropped in my spirit. You always wonder, you always trying to figure out why they tell you you have to consummate your marriage. Or when things of darkness prefer versions so they can birth something. We're just going to leave it at that. These hiccups got to go. And this set in my spirit, because what happens when you consummate, you have sex. And when you have sex, you create. The only other person outside of y'all that has the ability to create is God. And He gave y'all sex to be able to create. So, excuse me. So when they say consummate your marriage, you have to envelop yourself with your spouse so you can create a happy home for one another. You can create that godly marriage, that godly atmosphere so the Lord can create. And on the other side, what happened on Ghostbusters, they had to they had to consummate something so they could create a space for this thing to come in. Oh, Holy Spirit, you better hush up today. And just like when you go outside of your marriage to adultery with somebody, you're creating space for the enemy to come in. So the ability to create came from God, but yet again, this is something the devil has taken and perverted it so he could have his way and have his foothold in the earth. Be careful who you consummate with, because you don't know what you're creating. Come on now. Especially if it wasn't God ordained, you don't know what you're creating. Consummate with your spouse, especially if you're married. Never let sex be a chore, but at the same time, enjoy creating, and make sure you're creating with not the humble heart, but yeah, humble is one of the words. But creating with a pure heart. There you go. So therefore, anything that you create, God can use, and man can corrupt as well as the enemy. Y'all excuse me. But that was my anointed thought for today. Consummate. Be careful what you consummate, because you don't know what you're creating, and let alone who you're creating with or consummating with. Create with love. Okay? Create with love. Y'all stay gifted and heavily lifted out here in these streets. Be safe. Live long and prosper.